बुंदेले हरबोलों के मुख हमने सुनी कहानी थी, खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी। हम तो स्कूल से ही आगे नहीं बढ़े थे। हमने तो अफसर बनना भी नहीं सोचा था। I wanted to become an intelligence officer, if I can say that. As of now, I think the three chiefs do not have time to watch movies. And people from across, when I was a youngster, they used to say, साथी आपका हुक्म तो दिल्ली से आएगा, हम तो यहीं से फायर करते हैं. That army should not be involved in the politics. See, if army chief is religious, I am very religious. What is my religion? I am multi-religious. जब तक मेरी सेना के लिए मुझे प्रार्थना करनी है, मैं कहीं भी जाने को तैयार हूँ. What is the role of India's army? India's army's role is part of the Viksit Bharat. So as far as I am concerned, nation building is our equal responsibility.
So why did you join the army? What motivated you and why? Why did you take the decision?
I think I wanted to do something different and जो the माहौल जो मेरे घर में था, I remember my uncle when used to ask him कि भाई लिखने के लिए कॉपी लानी है, तो the copy which he used to bring used to have a soldier's photo.
Okay.
And my father used to always give me the स्वतंत्रता सेनानी की कहानियाँ और World War II का Sir von Vera who escaped as a pilot, I remember. So all these stories I used to keep reading. And my one brother was doctor, so I said no, this closed. Second brother was engineer, I said this is closed.
Okay.
So third was army, which was there. I wanted to become an intelligence officer, if I can say that. But when I went to school and saw everything, then I said, okay, let me join army first, thereafter look at intelligence.
Nice, interesting.
Actually, if you ask me, I never looked at those things. And the three words which I propagate in the Indian army is attitude, adaptability and ability. So what it means, you must have a positive attitude. You should be able to adapt to the situation which is there. And then comes the ability, because then only you can execute the task. But are you executing the right task? Are you executing the right time which is required? So these two become important. So as far as my aspiration is concerned, when we were in school, actually we were not looking at anything. We were just wanting to enjoy. Sports है तो sports में चले जाते थे, पढ़ाई है तो पढ़ाई में लग जाते थे. But when we joined NDA, then we became slightly serious because of the getting a kind of a overall conduct that how it is there, and our DSs used to tell us how it should be. When we became officer, I never looked at these things at all. But yes, at the level of captain or major, one aspiration which I had, that if I become commanding officer, this is the direction I will take my unit to. If I become commanding officer. And when I became commanding officer, I did those things. But beyond that, I don't think I had any aspiration to become chief. But whatever task was given, I was very clear that this is what I must do. Whatever task was not given, I had to look at, okay, this should be done this way. And I had the confidence of my superiors that I could walk up to them and say, look, this is something we need to work on. And they were gracious enough to accept my suggestions and say, okay, this you do, this I will do. So a teamwork, which I can say that something moved me through. When we were in school, we used to look at all the three services, and we used to love all the three, if I can say that. It just so happened that I came in army. Let me tell about AP first. As far as AP is concerned, from NDA days, is a gold torchie. And he is, everybody has a natural liking towards him. Okay. He is a man who can collect people together. He is a natural leader. And he takes the ownership in a crowd. But he is a very straightforward man. So, I say in the lighter moment, he should have been in infantry. He is so straightforward and such a team bonding man, he should have been in infantry. But so many things happen in history, like self and Dinesh, class fellow, becoming chief.
Yes, that also, I want that story. In the 6th grade, you were together in Sainik school.
From 5th onwards, we were together.
In Sainik.
5th onwards, we were
तो
together.
सोचा था उस वक्त सर कि ये दोनों साथ chiefs होंगे?
हम तो स्कूल से ही आगे नहीं बढ़े थे. हमने तो अफसर बनना भी नहीं सोचा था.
हाँ. Who was better in? Who got better grades?
See, Dinesh is definitely better in everything. He is tall. And we both were good in maths, if I can say. In front of media, we are up and about. And we have stiff upper lip.
Okay.
But once we are together, then we just hold each other and keep talking to each other like school days. आप इतिहास खोल के देख लीजिए. Negotiations have always been successful if two people knew each other or knew about each other's personality. So what it means, if two rigid people are talking to each other, then you don't expect an outcome.
Yeah.
But here what is there, that when we three are sitting together in Chiefs of Staff Committee also, We can have any kind of a discussion, it just doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
Because our personal rapport is so good with each other that the professional differences, even if they are there, we are ready to accommodate because we all are progressive by nature. We want jointness and integration to come.
Okay.
So even if says, okay, you take a step back here, I take a step back, it's acceptable.
Okay.
So moment you are ready to negotiate, because negotiation, the principle is it should be win-win situation for all.
Okay.
But if you're rigid, then it's a win situation for you and loss situation for others. That is the difference. So here we all three look at, we three must be winners towards the end. Did you ever think that as an army chief, I'll accept ADC from the other service?
Oh.
Because he'll be privy to my conversation when I'm talking about the other two services. But today, all the three service chiefs have accepted and the three ADCs have been selected, and within 15 days you will find that they will be reporting to each other.
So you are getting an ADC from Air Force, sir?
I am getting from Air Force. AP has already made me meet him. And from my side, there's 11 guards officer who is going to Dinesh, and Dinesh is sending to the Air Force. As of now, I think the three chiefs do not have time to watch movies. See, as far as Sauda is concerned, it is one of the most hit serials, if I can say that. I have it on my mobile, but I have not been able to watch it, very frankly.
Okay.
But let me tell you, all my relatives and everybody's watched it and says a lot. But I'll take your mind to, by way of deception, again written by a retired Mossad guy. Whatever is in the visible domain, it's in the visible domain. Whatever is invisible, that will remain invisible. So that we may not be able to speak out. But definitely we talk about that, how our aura should be there, what should be the protocols in terms of our soldiers, our Jawans, how should they behave. And these things we keep talking about. Because you'll find we are the forces all over the world trusted most, respected most. So we must stand up to the expectations of the entire environment. Two things, officers and if I can say that PBOR, person below officer rank. As far as officers are concerned, you will find that we are getting from all quarters. We are getting from Kanyakumari also, we are getting from Kashmir also, we are getting from Kibitu also, we are getting from Bhuj also, everywhere. So that's not an issue at all. But within that also, the intake you will find that the officers' children may be approximately, let's say, between 5 to 10%. But the JCUs who are children who are coming are approximately 35 to 50%. That is the kind of intake.
That has not changed. There's no dip.
It's not dip. Means what I am saying that in the complete, if 100 people are getting selected in a year, you'll find 35 to 50% are the JCUs who are children. Because they've seen their life. They are understanding what their aspirations are there to join. As far as the officers' children are concerned, the number is very small because the officers themselves are very less in number. So definitely that is also there. As far as Agniveers are concerned, they are coming in adequate number. That's not a problem at all. What we have to see, initially the number was much more. Why? Because there was a gap for 2 years.
Yeah.
So what we had done, we had enhanced the age profile also by 2 years. So everybody got packed up in that. So that 40,000 what we wanted to induct in Indian Army, the number was very high. After that, since those 2 years embargo has been removed and some people who have got overage, they have also moved out. So as a result, 3 to 4 years gap has again got created in the sense those people have moved out of the system. So it has come to a particular level, it will continue. So it meets our aspiration, that's not an issue. See, as far as the integration part, if I take it, there's no difference at all. Because Agniveer, he may be for outsiders, but inside he is just number so and so, Jawan so and so, wahi chal raha hai.
Because when you were flying in the LCA, sir, in that 18 squadron board, I saw that there were 3 Agniveers mentioned by the Air Force, and they were being praised for something, and like it was not part of the coverage, but it was there. So I saw that.
You're absolutely right. The crew which was there, approximately 5 to 7, which is reading the aircraft, out of which 3 were Agniveer. So when I shook hand with them also, and they were quite proud of it, what the job they were doing. Same is the case in the unit. In the unit, there is no difference at all. Let me take a case of an officer. How much training does he do? As for the weapons is concerned. He does it for, let's say, 30 days, 45 days. Thereafter, he goes to the unit. But he's also carrying carbine, he's also carrying pistol, he's also carrying everything. So, as far as the training part is concerned, earlier, if I can say that the training part was much more because you thought that they require more training. But now once you're given the less training, if I can say the less training in the sense that compacted the training in the lesser time frame and you said balanced training you will do in the unit. They found it's workable. So apprehensions which were there have been belied as of today. 2,07,000 crore is something which is in the revenue part. Now if you remove the salary part, which is approximately 1.47 lakh, there is a 20% jump in my non-salary revenue.
Okay.
What it means that, let's say in case of other two services platforms, they lead to maximum capital acquisition. That's why you'll find that capital acquisition is much more. In case of army, my platform is my soldier itself. When we talk about FN SAS or Karna Kavach, when I want my soldier to be a smart soldier, it's a platform. So starting from a soldier as a platform and then going to a tank or to the Hapter, all these platforms which are there, if they have to be maintained, how will they get maintained? Because in my case, both borders are active. Every equipment which is being there is being exploited. So to maintain that, I need revenue. For infrastructure development from OpWorks, I need revenue. So this has been understood by the Finance Ministry. Therefore, there is a 20% jump. So whatever we desired, it is there.
Okay.
As far as the capital side is concerned, it is dependent on what is the carryover liability. So whatever gets sanctioned this year in terms of acquisition, that will be paid over a period of 5 to 6 years. So we know that, okay, this year I have to pay this much of money. And never Ministry of Defence has said no to it. Whatever the carryover liability, we get it. So, बुंदेले हरबोलों के मुख हमने सुनी कहानी थी
खूब लड़ी
मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी थी. ठीक है. And I am from Jammu and Kashmir Rifle and we believe in Durga Mata. ठीक है.
Okay.
So now if you take your flag, what is the topmost color? Is a saffron color. Now I lift this Ashok Chakra and put it on that. Now what is it talking about? It's talking about the strength, courage, sacrifice, progressive, transformation, be part of change. That's what is Kali Mata all about. Means any person who comes as a manager level. Now I have to convert that into a leader. And leader has to have these qualities which I have told you. That's what it's about. See, if I say that amongst the male also, among the female also, you will find all kinds of officers. And among the male also, you will find very rigid officer, just following the rules. They don't understand the shades of grey. They only look at umbra, they don't look at penumbra. So, it is important for you, see, Indians are different. And Holiness Dalai Lama has also said that the Orientals always understand the definition of grey zone. Everything is not black and white. If you see, we believe in body language. We believe in unspoken language. We believe in if you have not spoken, then also we have spoken. So that is the kind of understanding we need to have. So when I talk about Poning Doming, she is the most vibrant, and this time she's got a Sena medal also. And she was omnipresent during whenever I visited or when anyone else also visited. So she was leading from the front. Now I'll give you another example what the General Puri has said. There was an education officer with me when I was the army commander, and one of my course mates, Rasina, gave me excellent feedback about her. She's the best staff officer. So I gave her a few tasking and she was up and about, but she was black and white. But by the time she left, she said, sir, now I have understood that whenever you used to tell me something and I used to give you reply, you used to say, beta, ye bhi dekh lo, ye bhi dekh lo, ye bhi dekh lo, because nudging, cajoling or leading through the path is responsibility of a leader. So convert from black and white to this kind of a wider perspective is responsibility of the leader. And that is where people like me have to play a role. I'll take you back when the last time the pay scale was announced. That time, if I remember correctly, before that, about 6 months before that, many people had put up for PMR because the pay scales were not comparable. After that, what happened? Once people got the idea that this is what they are going to get, there was an en masse cancellation of premature
The
retirement.
8th pay commission.
The previous one. The previous one. En masse cancellation of premature retirement. And for next 1.5 to 2 years, 3 years, nobody was going out. So what happens when the new pay scale comes, you will find that the automatic correction is done in comparison to the society as far as the pay scale is concerned. Now I'll take you ahead as far as the X factor is concerned.
Okay.
I always talk about the X factor, and I remember giving a talk to the IIT Kanpur students, why a soldier walks into the hail of bullets. And this is what is the X factor all about. So any pay commission, when it comes up, we always request that pay commission, please take care of the X factor, because that soldier voluntarily walks through the hail of bullets. And that is what, till the time you have agreed and understood, and you give him some kind of a compensation. It's not a compensation. It is the national the recognition of the nation towards the sacrifice of the soldier, which is ready to do from day one.
That his family will be taken care of when he walks in into that hail of bullets. वो burden नहीं है to think कि मेरे बाद क्या होगा.
वो भी है, and when he's alive also, to keep him motivated, look, we recognize your services. That's why this X factor is always given to you. So I'll take your mind back to earlier days. The cantonments used to be isolated areas.
Yeah.
Why? Because they didn't want, or the people who were heading those armies at that point of pre-independence, when the cantonments came up, they never wanted the army to interact with the local population. Over a period of time, we have to see that whose army is it? It's India's army. What is the role of India's army? India's army's role is part of the Viksit Bharat. So if it is that, if it has to become a $30 trillion economy, and you need the human development index to go high, you want infrastructure development to take place, and if you want environment conservation or sustainability which is there, and so on and so forth, all these, and of course secure environment, Indian army has to play a role everywhere. It has to play a role everywhere. Now, if a stampede is taking place, as far as my orders are concerned, you will not wait for whether people are calling you or not. The nearest unit will move immediately and start helping. Along the northern front, I have said, 100 kilometers along the border, you will immediately react, because you will find that the distances are much more. The civil administration is not able to take stock before calling you, but you're already there. Which is the force which is forward located in such remote areas? It's Indian Army. So as far as I am concerned, you're free to do that. So as far as I am concerned, nation building is our equal responsibility. And I keep giving the example of Mission Olympic 2036.
Okay.
Mission Olympic 2036, Indian Army can play a very, very important role. The National Games took place recently. Which is the setup which won maximum medals? It is Sports Services Control Board. 68 gold medals, total 121. What it means that if we start today, this I have discussed with who's who of India. I'll leave it at that. Today, if we start, Indian Army has adequate space for any sports infrastructure which is required to come up. We give you a guarantee that infrastructure we will maintain, sustain for 2036 and will continue to improve. Second thing is, we have boys companies and girls companies. You have seen that the Indian Army soldiers have won so many medals that you're already aware.
Neeraj Chopra is...
Everyone, for that matter, Rajvardhan Singh Rathore, Vijay, Neeraj Chopra, so many are there. So we assure you that we will be part of the journey towards the medal. Now, third thing is, when you have to conduct something like Mission Olympic 2036, where do you get the manpower from? We have the resources. We will give those resources. We will also raise the territorial army battalions to conduct those. But for that, we have to sit together and plan today.
Yes.
If we sit together and plan today, everything of Indian Army, all these resources are there for Mission Olympic 2036. Because for that, I have to rehearse in 2028. For 2032 Olympics, I have to send the observers, learn there, do everything, and thereafter come and implement in 2036. See, if Army Chief is religious, I am very religious. What is my religion? I am multi-religious. I have got commissioned into 18th Battalion, the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, where you have Masjid, Gurdwara, Durga Mata and Mahakal, all under one roof. All under one roof. My Subida Major, who may be a Maulvi, is able to do Durga Mata ki puja. Not an issue at all. Now if you see, have I visited any Mashhoor place, Golden Temple or Mahakal or Vaishno Devi in beginning stages, initial stages? No. The first thing which I went was to my unit, Bhakti Dham. And once I got the blessings there from my Maulvi, my Pandit, my Granthi. Thereafter I started going to all the places. When you see, I took the first review of guard. I was presented by 5 the religious teachers, a complete bouquet of all the books which are there, all the religious books inside a box. So as far as I am concerned, I am multi-religious. Now the second issue is, whenever you start a convoy, सबसे पहले आप क्या करते हैं? आप मंदिर से सिर पे अपना उठाते हैं गीता को या दुर्गे माता की या कुरान शरीफ को या गुरु ग्रंथ को और उसको गाड़ी में रखते हैं. कौन रखता है? The commanding officer always.
Oh.
Which is the first vehicle which moves, Bhakti Dham. So a soldier is the most religious. जब आप लड़ाई के लिए जाते हैं तो आप क्या करते हैं? हवन होता है. अब जब साल के शुरू में every year I do a havan for whichever outfit I am commanding. So when रक्षा मंत्री जी says, क्या आप तीनों सेनाओं की कुशल मंगल के लिए मेरे साथ महाकाल चलेंगे? मैं बोला सर जहाँ भी ले जाएंगे वहाँ चलेंगे. जब तक मेरी सेना के लिए मुझे प्रार्थना करनी है, मैं कहीं भी जाने को तैयार हूँ.
How do you tell the family? How do you cope with that kind of a loss? Your buddy is killed in action. How do you deal with that?
This is something which is a major issue, if I can say that. And it is a very, if I can say that, very experience which leaves a pain in your heart always. Because I remember when I was the commanding officer and when my company commander, I told him, okay, you carry out this portion of operation, I'm here. And he carried out the operation, of course, we lost him. It's a very difficult phase to go through. But we have to go through. So we prepare the family. We send the near and dear ones. We also make a call that who also are very close to his family but on leave and from various units, we ask them also to send that. We send the nearest commander also to go and break this particular news. So there's a painful experience. But let me also tell in the same breath that in infantry, armor, mech, RT, engineers especially, that we are one family. So even if you are having a get together today, you will find all the widows come. Everybody comes.